When I sobered up at 38, I discovered that I was all of the characters in The Wizard of Oz. A mindless scarecrow, a cowardly lion, and a heartless tin man. And of course, the man behind the curtain, furiously working the levers, trying to maintain an illusion. My yellow brick road began in a dingy church basement, where it seemed very unlikely to find a superhero, let alone someone to guide me on my journey to the merry old land of sobriety. But there she was, a superhero, 5 feet tall. She was wearing a tracksuit, powder blue silk, Oleg Cassini. It was the 80s. Her shoes were blinding, and her hair was whipped within an inch of its life. I thought to myself, I could not be any more different than this person. And I couldn't understand what they might have to help me stay sober. She listened to my drivel, and she twirled one of the many impressive rings on her manicured finger. And then she looked me dead in the eye, and she said, "No one gets here by accident." And I was pissed. It was the first time anyone had seen me behind one of my many carefully chosen masks, and I heard her. She was right. She had given this scarecrow a little bit of knowledge, and I stuck that in my pocket. I didn't get sober then. I still had lots of drinking to do. The year I was to enter high school, my father shot my mother and then shot himself, committing suicide. So I entered high school as that kid. I was already used to being eyed with suspicion. I was always the kid with glasses, a stack of books, a violin, and history of an unfortunate lisp. When I felt the effects of alcohol, I really thought I had found a solution for my otherness. It's an easy club to get into and a hard one to get out of. I somehow managed to graduate from high school and soon began to experience the jackpots of an alcoholic life. Cash and prizes, great jewelry. I came to strapped to a bed in Detroit Receiving Hospital. I was a little upset that they'd interrupted my day drinking or night drinking. I drank 24/7. I didn't know what day it was or where I was. I was complaining just a little too loudly, just one too many times. And the nurse came over to my bed. I thought she was going to say something nice and kind because she had a kind face, and mostly because there was a light behind her head and like rays were coming out of her, like she was an angel. Instead, she leaned in, and in a superhero voice, at superhero volume, she said, "Go to AA!" And not so surprisingly, I heard her. And she was right. And she had given this cowardly lion a little bit of courage to go back and try again. I was staying in a halfway house, and I had agreed to plant some flowers, some sad geraniums, in a sadder patch of earth, in that zip code where the last of us go when it's the end of the road. The wife of the man who owned the halfway house came out, watching me sweat in the sun, June 1st, 1999, hot and muggy in Michigan. And she said, "What the hell is so bad that you have to keep killing yourself?" And there it was again, the truth. And the tectonic plates beneath my world shifted, not just a little. And my tin man's heart began to beat. And I made a decision. The third step of the program is to make a decision. And I made a decision to work the program to the best of my ability for 1 year. That's over 25 years ago now. Thank you. That courage took me into an audition room, and I got a scholarship to go to college. So the scarecrow had a piece of paper. That love, that heart that beats now, that heart that I had tried to drown. And pro tip, an ocean of cheap vodka can't wash away that kind of grief and loss. That heart beats strong and proud today. The program promises we will love you until you learn to love yourself, and that promise has come true in spades. I don't know where you are in your journey on your yellow brick road, but when you go into a room and you feel that feeling that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you know that you belong there as much as the moon and the stars, that just might be home. And when you find yourself in that room, I suggest you remind yourself, no one gets here by accident.